Hey, have you ever heard that listening to your heart is always the best path? Well, let me tell you, when fear takes over your mind, it can become your worst advisor. Often what we call intuition is nothing more than cowardice disguised as wisdom. The truth is bitter. Comfort kills more dreams than failure ever will. And I say this without fear of being wrong. People don't give up because they're weak. They give up because they become too comfortable. They go numb. There comes a moment when everything around you tells you to stop. It's quiet, sometimes invisible, but deeply real. It's the moment when doubt disguises itself as logic, fear speaks in the voice of a loved one, and comfort whispers gently, "Stay. You've done enough." But pay attention, that moment is a crossroads. And perhaps the most important moment of your life. Curiosity to understand how some people rise from poverty to build empires. Discovering the principles of success and to share them. No promise of money, no contract, no guarantees. Only belief that the knowledge I would gather could change generations. Have you ever faced a decision like that? A new job that feels unstable but promises growth? An old buried dream that calls out again, but demands sacrifice? A project that lives inside you, while the world insists it's not the right time? In which path did you choose? Most people choose what they already know. And I don't blame them, the familiar feels safe. But comfort rarely offers purpose. Comfort is fine, until it becomes a cage. People say they're tired, but often they're just bored. They say they stopped because they were honoring their limits, but deep down they were just avoiding the discomfort that comes with change. The path of growth is never paved with roses. It is made of doubt, delays, closed doors, and countless no-whats. And it is exactly at that moment, when everything tells you to stop, that you must keep going. That's the moment you stop repeating patterns and start writing your own story. Your mind will scream, "Stop!" It will use every rational argument it can. It will remind you of past failures, bad decisions, and fears you carry. It will say, "You've done enough. Maybe this isn't for you." But listen carefully, the mind only screams when it's being challenged to grow. The fear you feel right now, that's a sign you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Because no one feels fear inside their comfort zone. Fear is a sign of expansion. You must train your mind like a muscle. When it says, "Enough," you must teach it one more step. And then another. And another. In this quiet, consistent effort, transformation is born. You don't become strong before you start. You become strong while you're moving. Every step taken in fear is a brick laid in the foundation of your new self. Single decision, repeated countless times, shape the future of an entire nation. You have that same power. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up isn't intelligence or resources. It's the decision to keep going. It doesn't matter if you don't have support today. If you're starting from zero, or if you failed before. What matters is that you still have a step to take. And that step could change everything. Maybe right now, you're thinking of quitting a project. Maybe you're doubting your business, your relationship, your studies. But hear me, don't stop. Keep going even if no one sees what you're building. Keep going even if it's taking longer than you imagined. Keep going even if you're exhausted. Keep going, because every time you continue when everything says stop, you break the cycle of mediocrity and make room for greatness. And if you're doubting that, look back. See how far you've come. See what you've survived. You're here, listening to this, not because you gave up, but because you resisted. That alone proves there's strength inside you. Now imagine what would happen if that strength was put into motion every single day, even on your worst days. That's the secret. That's the truth very few people will ever tell you. You don't need to be ready. You need to be committed. That if you're waiting for the fear to go away before you move forward, you'll be waiting forever. Fear doesn't disappear. It only shrinks when you move with it. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward despite fear screaming in your ears. So make the decision now. Not tomorrow. Not when things feel perfect. Now! Even if your knees shake. Even if your voice trembles. Even if everything tells you to stop. Keep going. Because this is the point where most people give up. But this is also exactly where your real path begins. Who taught you that pain means it's time to give up? Modern society sells this lie efficiently. If it hurts, something's wrong. But what if I told you pain isn't your enemy? It's your trainer. Think about it. When someone goes to the gym and feels burning in their muscles, they understand this is part of growth. But when it comes to invisible muscles, the soul, discipline, courage, they avoid every form of discomfort. They want to grow, but without pain. They want to win, but without effort. They want the mountaintop, without the sweat of the climb. But without pain, growth doesn't exist. Never has, never will. There were countless days I asked myself, am I on the right path? The pain of feeling like a failure, despite knowing the very principles. Instead of running, face it. Use every pain as fuel. Every doubt as mental weightlifting. Every criticism as resistance training. Maybe you felt that same pain. A breakup. A business failure. Losing a job. Or that painful feeling of giving your all and still getting nothing. And maybe you've asked yourself, am I the problem? The answer is no. The problem is believing that pain means failure. In reality, pain is the announcement of transformation. I'm not just talking about the technical failures. I mean the emotional wear and tear that takes a toll on any human. Mind that understands every fall comes with a lesson. Pain destroys what's weak inside you to reveal what's strong. But only if you don't run. Only if you face it and ask, what are you here to teach me? Maybe it's teaching you patience. Or focus. Or humility. Maybe it's tearing out the pride that stops you from asking for help. Or the fear of exposure that keeps you from showing up fully. Whatever it is, pain always brings a hidden gift. And only those who stay in the fire ever receive it. There's a big difference between pain and suffering. Pain is inevitable, everyone feels it. Suffering is what happens when you resist it. When you fight pain, it grows. When you accept and learn from it, it transforms you. I'm not saying you should like pain. I'm saying, stop running from it. It's not a punishment, it's the cost of change. Think about Olympic athletes who train for years for just a few seconds of performance. Mothers who endure indescribable pain to bring a life into this world. What do they have in common? They understand, pain is part of the journey, not the end. You don't have to seek suffering, but when it shows up, and it will, welcome it with dignity. Use it like a mirror, showing you who you are, and more importantly, who you are becoming. How many times were you about to quit, just because it hurt? And what if you had held on just a little longer? Most people stop one step before the turning point. One step, because that's where the pain feels unbearable. But that is the test. That is the gate. That is the point where life asks you, do you really want what you claim to be committed to? Or were you just pretending? So the next time everything inside you says, stop, pause, yes! But only to catch your breath, not to quit. Take a deep breath. Wipe your tears. Roll up your sleeves. And keep going. Because in the end, what separates you from the majority won't be talent or resources. It will be your relationship with pain. Those who treat pain not as an executioner, but as a teacher, they are the ones who build legacies. They are the ones who inspire others years later. They are the ones who keep going even when bleeding, rise even while crying, and move forward even with fear. And if you keep going, I guarantee you, one day, pain itself will kneel before your courage. Believe that!